Good evening, and it is going to be, I promise, because tonight we are not just capturing a sunset, we are not just capturing a mountain. I'm also going to talk about the best technique to capture epic light trails. If you've never seen light trails before, here's an example of the shot that I'm going to composite together and create them light trails. Here's a little sneak peek into how good them light trails look. Now, if they look terrible, I'm going to look like a bit of a plonker right now. But my little trick and tip to capturing light trails is particularly good, if I do say so myself. I'm sure that out there is somebody who's got a better idea, and I do apologise for all them people that do, that I'm sure right now are outraged at the idea that somebody thinks that they can do a better job than them. And I'm not trying to compete. I'm starting to sound a bit boasty now. It's not what I'm trying to get at. But this, I'm particularly happy with. So, mountains, check. Road, check. Fingers crossed, sunset. Capture this all together. Winner of an image. Let's see what happens. Ooh. So as we speak, I am perched on the side of a very slippery hill, and the reason why I'm perched on a very slippery, snowy hill is because I want the perfect camera angle. I don't just want the camera angle or one that will do slightly. I want the right camera angle, which is proving to be slightly difficult. To get the right camera angle, I had to come high for one, and then two, if I go too far that way, that blooming tree is in the way, which is no good. And I think where I am now is about perfect. So setting up my tripod is going to be very interesting. So first thing I'm going to do to set up my tripod, so I'm going to try and flatten out a bed of snow, and then just let's not hope it slips. Next thing, I'm going to get my tripod. Funnily enough, to get this, I'm going to extend one of my legs super wide, get a little bit of a lean on that. Maybe not that wide, yeah, about there I reckon, and then full extension on the old legs. Let's give it a little check. Right, not going nowhere. Now what I need to choose is the correct focal length. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check out the 15 to 30 mil because it's already on my camera, so it'd be a shame not to, really. It'll be an easy change if I have to. Fingers crossed I don't. So I've got my my 35, my 13 to 35. I'm just going to put it into camera mode so you can see what I'm looking at. There we are. So this is the camera on 15. It's a bit wide. The subject, the mountain right at the very background, is definitely lost within the scene. Even when I zoom all the way in, give it a little bit of a rejig, it's still not ideal. I like the way the road starts here, comes up through the picture, up into the light, up into the mountain. But I think even 15 is, I mean on 30 mil, is still a bit wide. So what I'm going to try now is the 24 to 70 mil and see if this is the one for the job. So there we are, the switch over has been done. That was nice and quick. Now I'm just going to have a look on the back of my camera, see how things are looking. Oh, that is a much better. So now that I've switched to my my 24 to 70, at the moment I've got it set on about 30 mil, 35 mil. And look at that, I've got the road coming in this way, guiding your eye all the way through behind them trees and up into that big mountain in the background. That is my focal point. Now this shot is going to take time, and that is one thing that I have plenty of, luckily, because to get the light trails, that's probably going to be one of the last things I capture. But also, if I start capturing this image now, that mountain is going to look weird with that pink colour in the sky crossed with them light trails leading into the town and them lights on in town. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer until it gets a bit later, and then I'm going to start capturing it. Looking at the time now, it is 5:10. I reckon another 10 minutes and then I'm going to capture my first image. What I am going to do, I'm going to take a little test shot. I've got it on a 2-second timer, to making sure that camera doesn't move and I don't move while it's getting taken. And already that is absolutely beautiful. Check it out in the top corner. So just here I've got that road coming in from that corner, leading round into that mountain being the focal point at the back, and there's going to be so many town lights turning on in the mid-ground. It's going to be absolutely epic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see if that image was as sharp as I would like it to be. And that is pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty good indeed. There we are, the first shot of many this evening. The thing that I'm going to need for tonight's shoot, it's not that, but what it is this. This thing is going to be how I capture my light trails. What this does is this basically, I put it onto a setting, and this is like me pressing the shutter button, pressing the shutter button, pressing that shutter button, presses that shutter button. So I can click this down and push that up. And what's going to happen is it's going to continuously take shots at the settings that I've set it to. Really useful tool. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to change one quick little thing. So to capture this, all I need to do, and to use my shutter release button, is change it from timer to continuous, just like that. Okay, so CL, it's going to continuously keep on shooting because I've pressed that button down. If I kept that timer on, what would have happened is every time I'd taken a shot, it would have waited 2 seconds, taken another one, waited 2 seconds, taken another one. Now all I need to do is to press this button up and it's going to continuously keep on shooting. And the reason why this works so well is because it's getting loads of light trails, loads of light trails, loads of light trails. Every time a big bunch of cars go past, this is what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to shoot and capture all of them light trails. And hopefully when I compact that together, it's going to look. So unfortunately, I don't think the sky is going to light up. I'm going to leave the time lapse going anyway, but Blue Hour, it still looks pretty good in the French Alps at Blue Hour because there's so much white. It doesn't really get all that dark in Blue Hour because there's so much reflected light from all the snow. So I've captured a few at this light. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait a little bit longer now, and I'm going to capture some as it starts to get even darker. The reason why is because them lights from them cars are only going to get more and more powerful. I quite like the 2.5 seconds, the f11 and the ISO 64, so I might not change that. What tends to happen, which is quite interesting, is the longer shutter speed you get, the more light is taken in and the longer that light trail has traveled. And what tends to happen, the fainter that light trail actually becomes, which is strange, I know, but it does. It becomes fainter and fainter and fainter. So the trick is to have enough time to capture the streak of light, but not too long that it's starting to capture what's behind that streak of light, because then their image starts to fill in with what's behind and you miss that streak of light. If that makes sense. I feel like it does. It makes sense in my head. Let me know in the comments below if it didn't, and then I'll do a little bit of extra knowledge on it and maybe some examples. Maybe. But it is honestly starting to come into its own now. The lights in the town are starting to light up, which is going to give it that whole like Christmassy feeling, all them twinkling lights in the distance, the light trails leading into it. It's going to almost be like the Coca-Cola advert for Christmas. I hope. I've got a good feeling about this image. If only the sky had lit up too. But I will be back to try again, for sure. So it's starting to get pretty dark now. As you can see, I've brought my aperture light. It's almost 10 to 6 and I'm going to do a set of pictures now. But what I'm waiting for really is I'm waiting for a big long line of cars coming down the hill and a big long line of cars going up the hill. And I've got one traveling up the hill now, but it's not enough. So I've got a bus coming down, and normally behind a bus there is a big line of cars, and there is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start shooting now. And I'm just going to leave that, and hopefully I'm going to capture some magic here. There are so many cars coming down. This is absolutely perfect. Loads of cars going up. I'm just going to keep on shooting. The lights in the town are looking absolutely superb now. So the light trails are looking absolutely amazing, but everything else is looking a bit dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a 30-second exposure, and with this 30 exposure, lots of cars are going to go past, and you'll really get to see what I meant before about having a longer exposure doesn't always mean better light trails. So I fired that 30-second exposure off, and I'm just going to make sure I stay really still. Always make sure your vibration control is off when you're doing a long exposure, because otherwise what will happen is your lens will move around trying to find movement, and then you won't get a still shot. So make sure it's turned off, make sure I stay still, and then we're all a winner. There we are, the 30-second exposure. Everything's looking absolutely grand. Perfect. But look at that light trail. Look at that light trail right there. You see how faint it is compared to how powerful this one is, where I've stacked multiple shorter exposures with them lights. Isn't that amazing? But I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm going to wait until 6 o'clock, which is 8 minutes away, and I'm going to take my final section of images, and then I'm going to try an early one, a mid one, a late blue hour, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the best light trails, the best mountains, and then put that together and make one final image. So I should have 3 shot at different points throughout blue hour, so showing you how rich them light trails can get. And then I'm going to do one where I choose the best of the best, put that together, and hopefully that will be the winner. You never know though. So 8 more minutes and I'll see you again. So the first image I'm showing you right now is the beginning, the first set of images I took. You'll probably see that the lights are a little bit fainter. The mountains are nice and lit up and they look beautiful, but everything is really like almost pastel colours. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the middle blue hour, mid blue hour shot. The colours are starting to get that little bit richer. The lights in the town are really starting to shine, showing out, and the mountains are starting to darken off a little bit. Now this is the latest one, the later time one. I ended up having to do a 45-second exposure to get them mountains so bright. But look at them colours in them lights. They're so bright, they're so vibrant, they're so in your face, they're so beautiful. And you know, you can't really argue with an image like that. It looks so good. The final image I ain't going to talk about. I'm just going to let you have a look at it. All the cars have gone. What a nightmare. Anyway, so my thoughts for this week, plain and simple: get out there, get experimenting, try something new. If you've never messed around with light trails, don't worry, you don't need one of these. You can go out there and have a nice time without one. Just press that button. But you might get camera shake. Or wait a week, buy one of these and have a nice time. I'll put a link below. It's not an affiliate link, but yeah, I'll put a link below, and then you can get your way to Amazon to find one of these. Brilliant tool if you don't have one already. But have a lovely weekend. That's all. No, in fact, have a lovely week. I now upload on a Sunday, don't I? What an idiot. So have a lovely week. Hopefully you don't have to work too hard. And that is all from me in the French Alps. Peace out.